I think we're ready for the interview. I'm Andy. I'm the director from Bluesonica, a blues show in Radionica. It's public radio in Colombia.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I've been working with different types of shows on the radio here for 33 years. But since I started, I like the blues. And I always try to keep the people informed of the new bands. And I found you, and I put it in my show like the last week. The people like it a lot, and my partner get in touch with you, Karen. So I'm glad that we can do this interview.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
great, man. We really appreciate it. We're just kind of an independent, self-funded, small-time band trying to write our own music and put out a few albums. So it's cool to get somebody to notice us and want to talk with us, man.
Okay, so first of all, can you please introduce yourselves to my listeners here in Colombia?
Sure. I am Kimberly Dill from Sister Lucille Band. And this is Jamie Holdren.
I'm Jamie Holdren. Kim's the lead vocalist, and I'm the lead guitarist, and I sing sometimes as well.
Yeah, you hear him on the record. Pick the right track.
All right, Kimberly. All right, Jamie. It's a pleasure to have you here on Radionica, and let us know when the band starts and how long have you been playing the blues?
Well, the band started probably well over 10 years ago now. So we've been doing this particular project for a long time. It basically started with our influence of first going to Memphis, Tennessee.
Right.
So Memphis is, an iconic city, once the recording capital of the world, home of the blues, birthplace of rock and roll, so on and so forth. But we had never actually been there. And, we were just, had turned 30 or, 32. So we're like, well, let's go check out Memphis. And we were blown away by what we found there and the level that the musicians were playing at and the authenticity of the music, and just everything just blew us away. And so basically at a time when music is just at this crazy crossroads to where so much of it...
We were more country music, going to Nashville and doing that type of thing. So when we found Memphis, it was like we knew this is where we were supposed to be the whole time. Yeah. It was like our hearts found their home. And we knew then we had to change from country over to put in some blues and soul, and because that's where our hearts were really at. But, never thought to fuse it all together. And that's what Sister Lucille kind of became.
But the band was actually started to play with our fathers.
Yeah.
Both of our dads played music and had played with them in the past, and we wanted to start a band and play music with our dads. Basically, that's how Sister Lucille ultimately got started, with the influence from Memphis.
And things started happening, and we had to get serious about it.
That's very nice. I just print out a book named the Rock and Roll History Volume 1, The Blues. So I've been explaining to my listeners, to my readers, the mixes between the soul, the roots, the blues, as you guys are. So the people are understanding what you're saying. So I'm glad that you describe what you guys are doing right now, and I like it a lot. So let's talk
American music, I guess, is what you say, a fusion of it all.
Exactly, and it's nothing pure. It's just a mix of all sort of things. So I read that you guys have your first album back in the 2019 named Alive. Before that, do you have any other EP or demo?
Yeah, we actually recorded our first album locally here where we live in Springfield, Missouri, in Southwest Missouri in the Ozarks. And that album had some original material on it as well as some covers, but it was never officially released.
It was a bootleg.
Yeah, we didn't put it on a digital platform. We didn't release it with promotion. It was just it turned out to be kind of a demo album, so to speak. But But then once the live started doing pretty well, then people started going back and listening to the first album.
So we may need to release that one sometime.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, instead of spending money on another album, just release that one next time or something.
So we do actually have one other album that's out there. The only place you can get it is off our website, and we're currently sold out right now.
That's really good. To have a bootleg, you know, and starting your collection with that. So let us know about Alive. When did you record? When? How long did it take? And everything about it.
We started recording that one. I'm going to say it took a good year to get everything going and, you know, get in the studio. We of course recorded it in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where we do all our recordings at, and have local musicians that we've had on every record. So Alive, we had the horn section and the keys. They were all from Memphis, and the producer, Reba Russell. And we did the same thing on the next record. We just kept everything the same. But Alive was recorded in Memphis, and then it was we went to California and had it mixed.
The cool thing about the Alive record was really the first time for us being in a major studio, and that studio just happened to be Ardent Studios out of Memphis, Tennessee, which is one of the most famous studios in the world that was still up and running at the time. You know, a bunch of huge names recorded there, and so, you know, being in the same room that all my hero, B.B. King and Stevie Ray Vaughan, all these cats had been, it was just an amazing energy and
totally
feeling. It was unbelievable.
And we didn't know if that might possibly be the only professional album we ever got to record. So we kind of wanted it to be special and be like, okay, let's do everything that we want to do just in case we never get to do it again.
Yeah.
And then we got fortunate that it did well and was successful, so we could come back and do it all again.
Well, then we got lucky enough to take it from Ardent in Memphis, Tennessee, all the way to the West Coast to Santa Clarita, California, and have it mixed by Jim Scott, which Jim Scott's kind of a legendary cat that did a lot of recordings back in the 80s and 90s with a lot of the metal stuff. I know some of you guys down south are familiar with American metal music.
And y'all know Tom Petty.
Well, yeah.
Every record Tom ever recorded was recorded with Jim Scott.
Wow,
so,
yeah.
We got super lucky and got to mix it there. And it was like a dream come true for a couple kids from the Ozarks in Southwest Missouri.
Did you guys work with Kevin and Reed in the Alive album?
We had Kevin. Kevin has been a part of the band for 10 years plus.
Right.
Reed wasn't on Alive. We had another bass player then named Eric. Reed came in 2020 is when Reed became a member of the band. Right when COVID hit and the whole world got shut down, we got Reed, but that gave us a chance to write some new material with him too. So.
We released Alive in October, was it, of
October
2019. And within a couple of months, the whole world shut down. So that was not good.
But we got very lucky and fortunate that sitting at home doing nothing, the Alive album still won a huge Blues Blast Award for Best Debut Album of 2020. So we got up for 3 other awards, just sitting here doing nothing. So
it worked out. The DJs liked the album.
22 months of charting. To almost 2 years on the chart, so you can't gripe about that. So
excellent, congratulations for all that. You are the example of how is the blues situation in nowadays. The music industry changed, and people like you can catch the torch and keep the blues alive. I love that.
Well, and you mentioned Reed, and I got to say, Reed's been with us for, like she said, about 3 years now. And Reed was the missing link in the Sister Lucille puzzle. Reed was the brother that I'd been looking for, because we went through several different bass cats.
After my dad played bass,
her dad quit. He actually retired, who we started the band with, so he could spend some time with his grandchildren. And then unfortunately we lost him. He passed
2019. Yeah.
In 2019. But Reed he has came in, and I was actually a fan of Reed. I kind of stalked Reed out a little bit. I knew who Reed was. Reed didn't necessarily know who I was. He had played in one of my favorite local original bands years ago called Speakeasy. And Reed's just a monster of a bass player and a great vocalist too.
I remember the first time I saw him play, I looked over at Jamie and I said, what do you have to do to have a cat like that playing with you? And he's like, ask. So we got lucky.
So if I believe that, our first album, Alive, was a great album, a lot of great stuff on there. But when you go back and you listen to Tell the World and you listen to his bass work and the relationship that he has with Kevin, the drummer, it's I think some of our best work, and I'll shut up about it.
It's a great album. So let's talk about now Tell the World, the album that the people knows here in Colombia right now. I want to say that it's a great album, Kimberly's voice is radical, it's pretty impressive. You, Jamie, played great guitar, good vocals too. It's a great album. It's pretty solid. So let's talk about it. How long it take you to do this ensemble and put this album out?
Well, it actually took a while, especially because we actually had a few offers for record label promotion and distribution on this album. So we were actually ready to release it last year, fairly early last year, and we had an offer from a label, and so we put it off, and we were actually already had it on DistroKid and was getting ready to release it, and had to pull it back off. And we waited on the label for a while, I won't say any names, and they basically never came through. And so we had to start all over again. And by that point in time, it was like, well, we waited this long, so we hit up a couple more labels, and finally found a home with a label called Blue Heart Records, which is all female-owned record label.
So I'm very thankful that we did wait, because they were the perfect fit. The album has a full woman team behind it, which I'm very proud of. Starting from the production, 2 women producers, the engineer was a woman.
Wow.
Writing, me and my producer wrote. Jamie writes, of course, too, but I wrote most of this record with her. And then having them as the promotion and the CEOs of the label, 2 other women involved. It's just like, it was the icing on the cake. And we're actually the first record to ever be fully represented by women on their label also. So it's kind of awesome. And then a couple of the songs on the record are, of course, women power influenced. Why Not You and Montezuma Red. So it went well together.
Well, you mentioned Why Not You, then we'll have to talk about the wonderful and fabulous Miss Reba Russell, because Reba Russell is someone that I'm a huge fan of.
Need to look Reba up.
Reba's done some amazing things, recorded some amazing albums, way bigger than us.
She is the queen of Memphis.
And we became friends with her just by being fans and going to her shows, and then ultimately she offered to produce our vocals on the live album.
Wow,
that was like a dream come true once again, just stacked on to all the wonderful things that happened with that album. But then she offered to be a full producer on Tell the World, and so that was like, wow,
a dream come true for me. I mean, she's like Janis Joplin to me. That's how much I love her. And
I saw the video, and you 2 girls look very good.
Yay,
I did my homework,
All right.
Awesome.
Well, this
I'm really passionate about it.
She wrote that song for us to sing together, and she's the producer of the record.
Wow.
And all the background vocals are her. Too.
Incredible. And you and when you are singing together, the voices match very good, but your voice is better. with all the respect with Reba, but I love your voice, Kimberly. You're doing really good. In the blues, you need a voice that is, like fuerte, strong, with body, and you have it.
Well, thanks a lot. I was always labeled as the big mouth in school and choir because they could hear me above everybody. And I'm like,
There
that's
you
going to be
go.
somewhere one day.
Very good. So what are your plans right now with this incredible band, Sister Lucille?
Well, we just released our album in March, and I actually started taking care of. I'm very fortunate to have both of my grandparents. I'm 48 years old, and my grandfather just turned 85. My grandmother will be 84 in October, and they're more like my parents. They basically raised me as a kid, and so I both their health issues took a turn for the worst simultaneously, and so I spent from about the beginning of January this year till just about 5 or 6 weeks ago with them almost every single day. And so unfortunately that put a little bit of a halt on touring, and I felt so sorry and apologized to the guys over and over again, and but they were troopers, and they stuck with me, and grandma and grandpa are both doing a lot better now. I've got them in pretty good health, and so we're at booking shows right now. We played this whole entire month, and we're going down to Florida in October, and so we're trying to get back in the saddle and get the ball rolling again.
And we're up for a big award out of Nashville, the Josie Awards, Song of the Year for Why Not You with Miss Reba, and Video of the Year.
Wow.
So, and we get to go to Nashville to the Grand Ole Opry and hang out for that in October also. See if we win.
But for me, family comes first, man, and at one of the pivotal high points of my career, I had to step out, and that was hard. That was rough on everybody, but I wouldn't change it for the world. It's if your grandparents are still alive, give them a hug, tell them you love them, because that's a generation of people that has knowledge and sees things that we don't see. So
you're doing the things right, Jaime. I used to live in LA when I was a teenager, and then my father got sick and I came to Colombia, and I have to stay here, and I start working on radio, but I couldn't understand, leaving my dad alone and my parents. So you are doing things right, and you get that energy, after all. And with all the girls that are doing the right behind you guys, and Kimberly, you can feel that good energy in the whole Sister Lucille project.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. I mean, that's important.
That's exactly what we want to hear.
I'm to me, like, things have to feel right. They have to be right. I don't like things to be forced. I'm real improvisational when I play. No lessons, no charts, none of that. I was too lazy to learn any of that stuff. So yeah, that's a great compliment. Thank you very much.
Well, before I let you go, because in radio the time goes fast, I would like to ask you to tell something for the people here in Colombia that want to make blues. Even if they're young, even if they are in their 20s or 60s, I don't care, but maybe they're afraid. And you guys are the example that if you do the things right, hey, the things happens, you are already known here in Colombia.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Mean, an honor to be asked to do an interview and to be able to maybe reach some folks down there. And as far as the blues goes, the blues is universal.
Totally.
You don't have to be from Mississippi to get the blues. Everyone gets the blues all across the world, and so as far as the music goes, I would suggest starting where I started, and that is listening to all the old stuff. Really going back and doing a little bit of your homework on, and even go farther than back. Go back and listen to some Leadbelly and some Son House and some of those cats, and just really familiarize yourself with what they're doing and what they're talking about, and then when you get to a certain point, just let yourself come through the music, and take that music and take those feelings and that inspiration that you've learned from those cats and do your own thing with it, and add some Brazilian flair or some Colombian flair, you know, or whatever your thing is, and mix it up real good and stir it all around in a big huge gumbo, and then just put it out there, and you'll be surprised, you know, what might come of that.
That's right. You're certainly right. Kimberly, what do you have to say?
Well, I would say just follow your heart and do what your soul tells you to do. You don't have, even if you don't necessarily think that you're blues, or, you know, you're not in this blues box. To me, I guess blues is a melting pot of all music, like we already described. So if you know, you want to put subgenres. There's so many subgenres that you can be, that you can pretty much be who you are and possibly find a spot in the blues home. So, you know, so don't get distracted if you want to be blues and you don't think you are. Just write, just keep writing whatever you feel. That's what I do. I don't write to write blues music. I just write, and whatever happens, happens. And I get lucky, and sometimes it's there, sometimes it's too country, sometimes it's perfect. You know, you never know. So just keep doing it. Never give up, and perseverance is what will pay off tremendously in songwriting and playing and singing specifically. I don't play an instrument, so it's hard for me to say, but
you do play your beautiful voice.
That's all I got. So
thank you very much, Kimberly, Jaime. Please, your social media, where the people can find you.
SisterLucilleBand.com is our website. Sister Lucille at Facebook, Instagram. We're on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes.
Basically,
YouTube.
if you just Google Sister Lucille Band, like, there's pages and pages of us, because we've been around now for a while, but it's kind of a unique name. So there's only like there's one other band called Sister Lucille Pope that's like this old school gospel band that's really cool. And then there's a comedian called Sister Lucille, and otherwise we get to we got quite a bit. So we lucked out. The name, you know, might sound a little cliche, but actually it's a unique name. So
why Sister Lucille?
Well, B.B. King is my favorite singer and guitar player. His guitar is named Lucille.
Yeah.
And if you listen on the new record, I wrote a song called "My Name Is Lucille," and it is from Lucille's point of view about the guitar and B.B.'s love affair. So when you listen to that one next time, think about that. It's from Lucille's point of view.
Thanks a lot for the explanation. I love it.
Yes.
So thanks a lot for the interview. Please keep rocking, keep playing, and thanks a lot for your time.
Yes,
thank you so much for listening to our music and promoting our music.
Yes.
That's a great honor for us. We don't have a lot of ties down to South America, so thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. We would love to.
Thank you. You know, anything happen, whatever festival or whatever, something, I give you a call or I write you a letter.
So awesome. We would love to come see you guys.
My